This is part 2 in my video series where I'm rebuilding a site for a brand called Think Coffee using Horizon inside of Shopify. In this video, we're going to rebuild a homepage together. I've already started to lay out the first few components, and we're going to just fill out the rest of the page with, more story-based content as well as FAQ sections and so much more. So without further ado, let's hop into just making the most sick site as possible. So a couple things that I wanted to call out at first is that within the main header, I did actually make this transparent background in inverse, and I had to use a color schema with a transparent background to do this. Also for our main hero section, I did add in a video of this stock, nice, beautiful pouring coffee video, and this really just sets the tone for the rest of the site. A couple of other things that I did is I added in this product list. I think that's what it's called. No, product highlight section below, where I added in a hero image here with the couple here who owns the coffee shop. Also, if I go up, I do have this section called product list where I've added in my primary products. So these are all 3 of the products that the store has. And I've adjusted the columns so that it's 3 columns from 4. I think at first it was a 4-column layout. So I adjusted it to 3 columns here. And then on mobile, I've just converted it to a carousel. And then I've added in my arrows. I've opted for circles, so those show on hover. Cool. Now that we have all that set, a couple of other sections that I want to add in to make this look a little bit better is I noticed that within Horizon, there is a really cool icon section. So there's image with text, of course, but there's also icon with text here. So obviously these icons definitely won't cut it. First thing I'm going to do is just adjust the color schema to this schema here. I might even do dark. I don't love that, so I'm going to rock with the second schema here. So I've gone ahead and made a few edits. You'll notice here that I added in my contents and my icons. So I have a 30-day guarantee return policy. I also added in a sustainable package benefits as well as a free shipping benefit. Now, one thing that I'm slightly opinionated on, at least for this project, is I want to make sure that everything is aligned nicely to the left. Although, honestly, this lockup would probably work. So I'm going to just try to align everything to the left. Go like that. So I do notice that there's 2 different alignment options within Horizon. And I kind of found this out by playing around with it before. And there's the alignment option to align content that is a certain width. And then there's also an alignment option for like the text that already spans that width. So for the text here, I'm going to just left align that here and here. Now, this is looking all right. I don't immediately love it. So what I'm going to do is see if I can scale down the overall width of the section. So I'm going to do that by going over, okay, so there's full and then there's page, but there's no real way to set the width. So if any of you know ways to adjust the width, you feel free to leave a comment, and preferably ways without CSS. Later in the series, I'm going to dive into best CSS practices for Horizon, but for now, I'm just trying to edit the site as much as I can without diving into code. Okay, awesome. So for this group here, I'm actually going to turn this potentially into a card if I can. So I'm going to adjust the appearance. It says inherent colors, so there's none image video, but I can also do border solid. Interesting. So border solid there. Can I adjust and set a quarter radius? So I can probably do that by putting in 12. Okay, cool. That looks half decent. Am I able to set the padding? And I am. So I'm just going to put in 12 pixels for each one of these values here. Actually, a little bit more. I'm going to go with 20 pixels for each one of these values, just because I think that 12 is just a little bit too thin. This is an area where I would like to adjust rem if Shopify is listening. Okay, cool. I don't think that last padding option worked, so I'm just going to go like this here. That looks half decent. I'm actually going to change this back to white, and I think that looks all right. Can I set a background color in here? And I don't actually Could I go like this? Oh, no way. So if you unchecked inherit color scheme, you're able to bring in a different color scheme for the card. So that's kind of cool. So we could actually go with something that's like darker if we wanted to as well. Honestly, for the sake of it, why not? Let's do it. I might change this later because I still don't know how I feel about this, but one thing's for certain, I definitely don't like unchecking a setting to adjust another setting. So I'm just going to hit save here. I add in is an accordion section to explain a little bit more about the brand, as well as some sort of just like large animated text section. And I noticed that Horizon has a few of those. So I'm going to add a new section in here and take a look. So we have the marquee split. We have this, which is like a hero marquee, which is kind of cool. Let's do that. Maybe we can break up some of our content below. And that is way too big for me. If we are able to, I'm just going to scale this down to small. And I'm going to select an image here. So I'm going to select just a nice neutral image just to let the marquee shine over the content. And I'm going to select preferably something that's darker. So I'll select maybe this. We'll see, this might be too... No, let's go with this image here. Take a look at how that looks. Honestly, there's some potential here, but we definitely need to set some sort of overlay color. So I'm going to select this here. Okay, cool. Honestly, that's a neat approach. I am going to adjust the text here. So I'm going to say free worldwide shipping, just so people know that when they land on this page that yes, the shipping is free. And I'm going to adjust the heading to a heading 2 just for SEO reasons. Okay, awesome. Now for the button here, I'm just going to select a link instead just to make it slightly less aggressive. And I'm going to go with shop now all products because eventually we'll build out the collection pages. So that looks half decent there. Now I'm going to go down and I'm going to adjust the accordion area. So I'm just going to hit save for now. Awesome. So I'm going to go into add section here and I'm going to scroll down to where I can select the accordion section as an option. Oh, interesting. Maybe they call it collapsible tabs. I think that's what Shopify called it in Dawn. So I'm just going to select, oh, FAQ. That's even makes even more sense. Okay, cool. So that's a pretty decent FAQ. One thing that we might need to add is just like a little bit more spacing between each one of the options, if that is possible. And so it doesn't look like we can add any more spacing for each one of these, but I think that this is a pretty solid section to add on the homepage. And I'm just going to switch this to a slightly muted background, such as this here. Also for our footer, I'm also going to switch that to the same color as the FAQ. Awesome. I think I'm going to end the video here just because I don't want it to be too long, but overall my consensus is that Horizon definitely has a few pretty solid sections out of the box to use, but there definitely are some limitations in terms of what you can and what you can't do in terms of spacing. So for example, with this accordion, I would really like to add more spacing around the top and the bottom of the text, but I'm unable to do so. And I think that there's a few other areas within the site here. I guess eventually we found out that we could adjust the background color, but it did take some playing around to figure that out. If you like this video, feel free to check out the first one in the series, and then I'll have another video coming up in a couple of weeks where we'll start to build out, I think, the product page in the site. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more updates on how to use Flexi and Horizon in the future.